Well, hello there. Good morning. So this now will be my Bleach review for chapter uh, 500 and 561, entitled "The Villain." So, um, well, in this chapter, basically, let's say that the chapter has three parts or three stages. The first stage or the first part is basically the fight between Kensei and Mask, the masculine. And basically Mask is has clearly the advantage over the Kensei. We also during the fight we do actually see how Kensei bankai works, in the sense that in the moment he goes to throw that punch into Mask, we see that his knuckles kinda got spikes, and it was explained on the last uh, week chapter how the bankai worked. Now we did see that working is working effect, and when Kensei tries to punch Mask, he is trying to implode him from inside, transferring the explosion power into Mask's body. But again, James kind of saves the day by cheering on Mask, and eventually Mask blocks the attack, and eventually he finishes off Kensei with a leg drop kick, and also destroy his arm. But at the same time, this is the second moment of the chapter. We see Rose, and basically Rose killed James. And I did read the chapter one or two times, and I paid special attention to the moment that Rose kind of cut James, and it appears to me that when Rose cuts James, we see blood splashes all over the place. So I think that James was killed. Now, what was James? That's the question. We already knew that he was also part of Mask's powers. He kinda gave a power boost to Mask the masculine, yes. So he is only there as a power boost instrument, or could James be also a stern reader but on a lower standing than Mask? I don't know, but um, and I also don't know if we ever going to have an explanation about James, but um then, and this is kind of important, Rose was the one that kills James, and then he goes bankai. And well, I was happy to see Rose bankai. I always wanted to see all the captains or all the characters that have bankai in Bleach. I always wanted to see how their bankais look like and how they work. Um, Sadly, the bankai of Rose, it was great to see him and to see him working. And but basically, Rose Bankai is kind of illusionary type Bankai, um, that basically uses sound waves to make his opponent believe in those attacks. And if your opponent believes on in those attacks, he gets hurt. But it's not blow minding bankai, let's say on that way. And eventually Mask, as revenge for Rose killing of James, apparently he attacks Rose with his mask, the star mask, and shoots a beam at Rose in the center part of his torso. So I don't know if this is the end of Rose and if he will be dead. Uh, but nonetheless, both him and Kensei, I don't think that we will ever see them appearing in another fight for the time being. So I do wonder also about the visors. There is a problem that I'm having, and the problem is called holofication, and the problem is why they are not using the holo powers they have. And after kind of mumbling about it for a while now, I kind of think that there probably is a chance that probably when they were reinstated in Soul Society, Rose can say, uh, Shinji, and even Mashiro. Nonetheless, we did see that during the time they were training Izagi, Mashiro did say something that she is going to use her holo mask. So I think that the situation with the holo powers is that they have not lost it, but uh, they cannot use it inside Serate. I think that was the compromise that they reached with Yamamoto at the time for them to be reinstated, that they could not use the holo powers they possess during the time they are inside the Serate, or eventually they could use his their holo powers into training, but far, far away from the Serate, because I think that was what happened between the Izagi Kensei and Mashiro training. So they were outside the Serate, and they were in the along district, a distant district in Rukongai. So I think that the problem with them for not using their holo powers inside um, Soul Society is that the agreement they had with Yamamoto at the time was that they were prohibited from using their holo powers or their holified states inside Serate. Sorry. Mm, from Telepizza. Well, and then we have, like I was saying, the bankai of Rose and apparently the death of Rose, but he was not completely dead because he survived the blow of Mask the Masculine. And when Mask the Masculine was going to finish off Rose, Renji kind of stepped in and blocked the attack. And this is kind of a setting up chapter for the fight or the rematch between Mask and Renji, and that was quite good. Besides this, the powers of Mask. Well, we must recognize that Mask is uh, quite powerful indeed, and the situation with Mask, it kind of reminds me of the Shinji situation a few chapters ago. That apparently Kubo is using the Vizards as characters in setting up fights to have some other characters to have character development. Apparently, he did that with Shinji regarding the Komamura fight versus Bambieta, and apparently he did it again with Kensei and Rose fight against Mask the Masculine, preparing the setup to the battle between Renji and Mask. So that was quite interesting. Now, in terms of powers, from what I did saw, uh, not regarding Shinji because we only see his Shikai abilities again, and we already know that they were not very good. But now in this fight, in these last two chapters, we did see Kensei's and Rose's bankais, and I must say that as a Shinigami, I kinda got the feeling that in the list Rose and Kensei are not so powerful as I was supposed that they will be. They are like average captains. They are not even in the higher rankings of the captains in terms of powers. So, if they are not permitted to use their holification or their holo powers, they are kind of rather weak characters. But uh, okay, that's a situation that is complicated, but it's true that we don't know to learn much more about the visors, except what are their powers, obviously, because all their backstory and what happened in the past, and that it was already revealed in the Turn Back the Pendulum arc. So they do not need to have kind of flashback about their past or such because we already know about it. So, and in terms of character development, we already had that character development in the Turn Back the Pendulum arc. So, it's kinda, even if I'm not quite fond of the idea of Kubo using the visors as a mean to develop other characters like he did with Kamamura, and probably will do it again with Renji in the next chapter. Uh, I do believe that they are kinda at this point, and I think that I finally understood what Kubo intended to do. That is using the visors that are in Soul Society as a means to have some other characters to have development. I'm not fond of the idea because I do wanted to see some other character development for them, but I can accept it. He did a splendid job regarding Komamura, and I'm quite hoping that he did will do it again as for Renji. Now, in terms of Renji, I think that Renji at this point most likely he clearly has surpassed a great deal of captains in the Serete or inside the Gotei 13 because he did go to the royal palace and he did have that training and he did have his Zanpakuto reforged by Nemaya and such. So I think that at this point, Renji's powers are far greater than the average captains of the Gotei 13. So I'm quite interested to see what development in power did Renji have. If he matured as a warrior, as a Shinigami, because sorely needed it still. So that will be a very interesting fight, a rather match fight between Renji and Mask. Now, as for Rukia, where did Rukia go? mm, I think that probably Rukia did try to go to fetch, let's say, Captain Ukitaki and bring him to the battle. I think that what was Rukia was or will be doing. Probably along the way she will find or be found by some stern reader and she will need to fight. But I think that Rukia did she break away from Renji. Renji did came to the aid of Rose and Kensei, and probably Rukia did go to see what's going on with Captain Ukitake. That's the most likely choice for her to do, in my opinion. So, uh, and well, I can say fight, rules, fight, range appearance. Yeah, I think that I don't need to say anymore on this chapter. I like this chapter a lot more than the previous ones. I like to see the bankai of Rose. Uh, it was not a bankai that I was dying for seeing, but I was curious to see what were Rose powers in bankai form. I always had the opinion that probably they are related with sound, music, such because Kinshara in his Shikai is kinda something akin to musical instruments, so its sound, the power of Rose was his sound, so it was good. I don't know if Rose is dead or if the wound of Kensei and Rose will be enough to, I honestly think, for Kubo to bring back Unowana. Because with the Shinigami side taking losses, Kensei is out of the fight. Rose was seriously wounded or almost killed or in the brink of death. Toshiro the same. Soifon, I guess so. Um, Komamura, we did see what happened. So, unless a great healer returns to Soul Society, the Shinigami are screwed. So that's one more reason for me to believe and to still believe that Unowana did not die in the fight with uh, Zaraki, and because if she is dead, I don't think that Izane's ability, his lieutenant, will be enough to kind of save all these guys. And the only one that could do something about it is Ashi, and Ashi is not even in Soul Society. So, see my point, correct? But that's it. So this was my Bleach review for chapter 561. Hope you enjoy. Stay well. Peace. Thanks for watching and see you soon.